Assalamu alaikum students. Today's lecture is about the assignment questions regarding the clinicals of axilla. So first of all, you have to define the axilla, give its boundaries, and then name its contents. The second question is name the various groups of axillary lymph nodes. Give the areas of drainage of the axillary lymph nodes as a group. What is sentinel lymph node? Give its clinical significance. Now you haven't taught about the sentinel lymph node, but just search it on Google and then write what is sentinel lymph node, and you also have to give its clinical significance. Fourth question is give the lymphatic drainage of the breast. Now this is very important question, often comes in the university exams. What is metastasis? You have to define metastasis. Now why the metastasis of cancer cells of breast metastasize to liver and brain? So you have to tell the root of the metastasis of the breast cancer to the liver and the brain. So as a physiotherapist, you will often come across patients which come to you for physiotherapy after some kind of surgery. So a 60-year-old patient presented with history of radical breast surgery. Radical breast surgery means that the breast is removed as well as the axillary lymph nodes. There is surgery also in the region of axilla, and the lymph nodes are removed and some of the tissue is also removed. So this lady has got radical breast surgery 1 week ago, and she presented for physiotherapy. Now she told you that she was unable to comb her hair properly and she was finding difficult to change clothes. Now there is some problem with the so there is some problem of muscular weakness is there. The attending physiotherapist noticed that the medial border of scapula is unduly prominent and there was limitation of shoulder elevation. He suspected a nerve injury due to which there is muscular weakness during the surgery. Now, which of the following nerves would most likely to be damaged in this case? Axillary nerve, dorsal scapular nerve, spinal accessory nerve, thoracodorsal nerve, or subscapular nerve. So you have to find the injured nerve during the dissection in the region of axilla, which is producing the symptoms and the signs. So symptoms are the unable to comb her hair properly and unable to change clothes without pain, and the signs were the medial border of scapula is unduly prominent and there was limitation of shoulder elevation. So second MCQ is regarding the injury to the brachial plexus. Now a newborn baby presented to physiotherapist for physiotherapy of left arm. So he was having weakness of the muscles of left arm. The history was of difficult forceps delivery causing undue separation of head from the shoulder. Now on examination, arm of the baby was hanging by the side and forearm was extended and pronated. So he was diagnosed as having injury to the brachial plexus, labeled as Erb's Duchenne paralysis. Now, which part of the brachial plexus is most likely to be injured? So you have to tell the part of the brachial plexus which is injured in this case. So it can be injury of the upper trunk or the lower trunk, lateral cord, medial cord, or the posterior cord. So you have 5 options. You have to tell the correct one. So the signs are the limb hanging by side, arm hanging by side, extended forearm and pronated. And the history of forceps, difficult forceps delivery, causing undue separation of head from the shoulder. So you have to tell the injured part of the brachial plexus. So third MCQ, a patient presented with history of fall from a tree. He tried to clutch branches of tree with his hands. Now he presented with complaints of tingling and numbness along the medial side of the forearm and hand. Now on examination there was cutaneous analgesia and anesthesia along the ulnar border of the forearm and the hand. His ring and little fingers were flexed. He was diagnosed as having Klumpke's paralysis. Which of the following nerve roots are likely to be involved? So you have to tell the nerve roots involved in case of Klumpke's paralysis injury. C5, C6, C5, C6, C7, C8, T1, or C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1, or C7, C8. So another SCQ question, what is lymphangitis of axillary lymph nodes? Now another last question, if the first part of axillary artery is blocked due to atherosclerotic lesion, how is blood flow occurs towards the upper limb? How this blood flow is maintained? So you have to tell the route of the blood flow in case of occlusion of the first part of axillary artery.